Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out the short-term price action right in here in Yasmi, because I do think we might be primed for some very strong moves on the upside. And in today's video, I'm going to do a full Elliott Waves analysis in here and tell you what is going on and show you a very important signal, which with the help of it, you can identify whether we are going to get a move up or possibly on the downside. So let's zoom in more and see what is happening. And first things first, if you remember, the last time that we talked about Yasmi, I believe we were right in here. And the idea was that we can get even a move on the downside in order to have a retest of this level and possibly even take this low. But at that point, we shouldn't really be overwhelming the bearish. Odds are that's just going to be part of a correction structure, maybe in form of an ABC expanded flat, even if we are going to take this low about, let's say, 1.5 cents area. On the other hand, we also talked about discount suggesting, sure, this is an ABC flat, but it's actually a running flat, which in it we are absolutely not going to take the low of our A leg. We said this also can happen, and in order for us to have more confidence about discount, we need to see some strong moves on the upside in Yasmi ASAP. And what do you know, we absolutely got our move up. So in my books, this is definitely a good sign. Now, what is happening in terms of classic TA, meaning support and resistances? I think it is kind of safe to say that we are actually on the verge of getting a solid break of this unbelievably important resistance area. And if we do so, sure, maybe there are going to be some resistances here and there, but I think a better target can be somewhere around, I believe it was like the 3 cents area, meaning from the current point, we can expect like another 50% move on the upside. And again, you want to remember, maybe somewhere around 2.4, even 2.7 cents. There are some resistances, but they are not really going to be that strong compared to the 3 cents region. So this, in my view, is yet another optimistic sign suggesting maybe the trend in Yasmi indeed has changed. Now, what is going on in terms of Elliott Waves? Also in that area, we are having bullish news. Why is that? You see, we can, I think, now say this is a wave 1, correction for wave 2, probably either an ABC or maybe a WXY, not really important. Let's say like a WXY in form of a double zigzag. A strong 5 wave up into wave 3, followed by now a running flat into wave 4. And this can actually be our final move up into wave 5. Now, the importance of this structure are twofold. Number one, it means that the trend most likely has changed and the final low in Yasmi is already in. Point number two is that what happens after a 5 wave up, even if we are bullish and the low is already in? You know the answer, we are going to have a move on the downside. And again, you want to remember, just like we talked about it before, any kind of move down, as long as it's just going to be a slow and choppy move, it's just probably going to be in an attempt to have a correction structure and also have a retest of this level, which the lower band of it is about like the 1.5 cents region. And what happens next? We are probably going to get another very strong move on the upside. Why do I say that move might be very strong? Because on a higher degree, I do think there's a very strong argument to be made for this 5 up being into wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2. And what's next if this is going to happen? Big move into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And in terms of Elliott Waves, wave 3 is quite a strong move on the upside. That is exactly why I'm saying in Yasmi, exciting times might actually be ahead of us. Now, can we have some other counts? And is there a chance that we are actually much more bullish than this? The answer is absolutely yes. Let's go on 30-minute time frame. There we go. You see, this can be a 1, 2, but we can argue maybe this is going to be like a wave 1, correction for wave 2, and at the moment we are on our way to complete the subwaves for a huge wave 3 and 4 and 5. And that, my friends, is going to be at that point, according to this count, into a larger degree wave 3. And what happens next? You know it, correction for 4 and even another move up into wave 5. Now, if this scenario is happening, well, okay, number one, it's actually much more bullish than the previous count. And number two, probably in the next couple of days, you are going to see like a 50, potentially even 60% move up in Yasmi. I think that can happen. Can we have another count? The answer is yes. And it is sort of kind of similar, but there are some nuances. You see, in this scenario, I'm going to argue this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now into a wave 1, correction for wave 2. And at the moment, we might be on our way up to complete a massive wave 3 and 4 and 5. And here's the thing, at that point, we're going to say, you know what, we completed a 1, 2, 3 to about this point, running flat into wave 4, another move into wave 5, and then from these areas, we can have a move on the downside. Now, what's the difference between this and the previous scenario? The difference is this is, sure, much more bullish than the initial possibility that we talked about, but it's not actually as bullish as the previous count. This suggests if we are going to get a move up, maybe we're just going to go and reach to about these regions, and then it will be time for a move on the downside. And here's a question, which scenario is going to happen? You see, we are not really sure what's going to happen. Basically, in the markets, we are only allowed to talk about the possibilities, but based on what I'm seeing, at least at the moment, I'm going to argue probably this is going to be the favorite count. Why is that? Let's summon more. Okay, as you can see, in this phase up in Yasmi, I think we can all agree that we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, and in it, yes, by a very small margin, we took this important high. So odds are this is actually yet another extension structure, and I really doubt that the most bullish case is going to happen. Why? Because honestly, usually we are not really that lucky. So for now, let's go with this count indicating that we're gonna have a continuation of this move up, possibly for another 30 to even maybe 40% if we are lucky, and then we are going to make new updates and see where are we going to go from there. Now, here's a question. Are there some evidence suggesting this or maybe some sort of a bearish count in the short term is going to happen? And for example, we're going to be on our way down in order to have a retest of this area starting from the current point. I think so, yes. And once more, it comes down to indicators. First things first, let's talk about the previous video. And if you remember, in it, we were somewhere around here, and the idea was in Yasmi, let's actually delete stock RSI, excuse me. We said, look, this is a high, the other one is a higher high on the live chart, but in MACD, what do we have? This is a high, the other one is a lower high, meaning we are having a bearish divergence, and as a result of it, we may see like a short-term move on the downside. And like I said, if you want to argue in JasmyCoin, we are going to get a very strong move up. Just wait a little bit more and see, are we going to get a break of the divergence line or not? Why? Because the moment that we do it, we are probably going to see some sharp moves on the upside. And guess when exactly we broke the line? It was, yep, right at this candlestick. So as you can see, the break of the divergence line did translate to a strong move up in Yasmi. From this point to about here, this is like a 20-25% move, which on some lower time frames, for example H1, it's definitely not that bad. Now pay attention to what I'm about to say. Let's go on H4 time frame, because once more, what do we have? This is a high, the other one is a higher high, but in MACD, by like a very small margin, we are having a high and the other one is actually a lower high. And once more, if we want to say the extension possibility is happening in JasmyCoin, what we need to see is a break of the divergence line. The moment that we get that, I promise you, you are going to see once again yet another sharp move on the upside. And this is exactly why I keep saying maybe exciting times are indeed ahead of us. And finally, let's go on some higher time frames and check out indicators. Okay, this is now a very, very bullish signal, because in MACD, now we are having a confirmed buy signal, which is great. What is going on in a stock RSI? Let's just bring it back. Where is it? I absolutely lost it. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is actually another good sign, because now we are having also a buy signal in a stock RSI. So the fact that we are having in both indicators in weekly chart buy signals is a very good sign, indicating probably the final low is already in. And when was the last time that we got something like this? It was, yes, right at this candlestick, and this translated to almost like a 100% move on the upside. Do we have some other examples? Yes, you can actually talk about this one. Yes, from here, from 2.6 cents area, we got this time about a 70% move up. Another time that we got a buy signal was right around, let's say, okay, sure, this candlestick, and as a result of it, we got around like a 150% move up. So as you can see, having buy signals in these two indicators at the same time, in most cases, not all cases, definitely not, there is uncertainty in any market, but in most cases does translate to a strong move up. and very much exciting times. And what is going on in daily time frame? Okay, we are having a buy signal in MACD, great sign. But in stock RSI, while short, we are having a buy signal. However, we are around the overbought region. So I don't really mind at all if in the next, for example, day or two, we get some sort of a chopping around, because that's just going to be a simple correction structure in order to gather the fuel for yet another strong move up. And if we are going to get this phase, all eyes on that H4 bearish divergence sign and see are we going to break it or not. If we break it, it will be, in my view, a very, very good sign. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in JasmyCoin. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.